Tonight we have more The Infinite Forbidden Reveals, and this is going to be a brand new deck that we haven't seen before, but it has a noteworthy card that is seen in one of the artworks. So let's take a look at Fiendsmith and let's see what they do. First off with the bunch, we have the Fiendsmith that carves demons. It's a light level 6 Fiend effect monster, attack 1800, defense 2400. You can only use the first, second, and third effects of cards with this card's name once per turn. You can discard with this card, add one Fiendsmith spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. This is actually really good right off the bat because you get to fill up your graveyard and get specific spell or trap cards you need. You can target one Fiendsmith equipped card you control and one monster on the field, send them to the graveyard. Very interesting spot removal. I could definitely see being used in certain ways, and if this card is in your graveyard, you can shuffle one other light fiend monster from your graveyard into the deck, extra deck, special summon this card. So we're looking at magical muskets can be ran with this deck, so that's actually very nice and very interesting. It could be resourceful in certain ways. This deck is going to be very interesting because Fiendsmith are based on fusion and link summoning, because we have Fiendsmith Lacrimosa, I think that's how you pronounce it. It's a light fiend fusion effect monster with 2400 attack, 2400 defense, and it takes 2 light fiend monsters, so realistically super generic and something like magical muskets. You can only use the first and third effect of cards with this card's name once per turn. The first effect is if this card is fusion summoned, you can target one of your light fiend monsters that is banished or in your graveyard, either add it to your hand or special summon it. Monsters your opponent controls lose 600 attack, and if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can shuffle one other light fiend monster from your graveyard into the deck, or extra deck, and inflict 1200 damage to your opponent. This is a very interesting fusion monster because it gets to resummon a banished fiend light monster. Oh, you can use Fabled with these. That would be very interesting. There's a lot of options you could do with this deck. I am very curious now. So after that, we probably have the boss monster of the deck being Fiendsmith Diesel. It is a light level 9 Fiend effect monster, 2800 attack and 2400 defense. The materials are the Fiendsmith that carves demons, plus 2 light fiend monsters, so realistically very generic. You can only use the first and second effects of cards with this card's name once per turn. First effect is quick effect. You can negate the effect of a number of face-up cards on the field up to the total link rating of monsters equipped to this card until the end of this turn. So kind of like a forbidden droplet-like card. That's actually very, very nice. And if this card is sent to the graveyard, you could shuffle one other light fiend monster from your graveyard into the deck or extra deck, then target one card on the field, send it to the graveyard. So realistically, it is a droplet plus Druid's Worm. I did not realize how you could do those 2 cards in one actual card. So honestly, I am a real fan of the fusion side of this deck so far. So let's not waste any time and get into the link aspect of the deck, being Fiendsmith Recum. It is a Fiend link effect monster, 1 light fiend monster, and also points down like Magical Musketeer Max. You can only special summon 1 Fiendsmith Recum per turn, and you can only use this card's name's second effect once per turn. You could tribute this card during the main phase quick effect. Special summon 1 Fiendsmith monster from your hand or deck. A emergency teleport for the deck. That is very, very powerful. You can target one other light fiend non-link monster you control, equip this card to the targeted monster as an equipped spell that increases the equipped monster's attack by 600. Realistically, that is very good because it gets to any of your Fiendsmith monsters, which right now there's only 1, so probably in the future we'll see a few more added into the deck. So honestly, very powerful link monster on a link 1, and I cannot wait to see what other Fiendsmith monsters we get in the future. After that pretty powerful link 1, we have a link 2 being Smith Sequentia. It is a fiend link effect monster, 2 monsters including a light fiend monster. You can only use this card's name first and second effects once per turn. During your main phase, you can return monsters from your graveyard to your deck as fusion material to fusion summon a Fiend fusion monster. This is really good, and it has Fear of Nightmare, I think it's called on the card art, but correct me if I'm wrong. And the second effect is you could target one other light Fiend non-link monster you control, equip this card to the targeted monster as an equip spell with the following effect. Your opponent cannot target the equipped monster with effects. Targeting protection is very strong, especially on a card like this. So realistically, I definitely think that this is going to be a very powerful card, even in things like Magical Musket, because you can target a Magical Musket monster and just equip it, so it cannot be targeted. So there's quite a bit of plays that you could do with Magical Muskets and this deck. So now, after all that, let's get into the spell and trap cards. There's 2 spells and 1 trap, and this is the first one, being Smith Tactus. It is a normal spell card, and you can only use each of the following effects 1 and 2 from this card with this card's name once per turn. You can either add 1 light Fiend monster from your deck to your hand, then discard 1. Dark World, you can run this in Fabled Dark World, that's a very powerful card. And the other effect is you can banish this card from your graveyard. Fusion summon 1 Smith monster from your extra deck by using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material. Why am I getting Fabled Dark World? Could just run this as another reinforcements of the army so you can get Fabled Raven? Or really any light Fiend monsters, so that's a nice consistency boost there. Even something like Runic Fabled can run this, so these cards you really have to be careful with giving support like this. So let's get into the other spell card, and it's a quick play spell, and honestly quick play spells usually are good sometimes. We have Smith Sanctus. It's a quick play spell card, as I said, and you can only use each of the following effects 1 and 2 from cards with this card's name once per turn. If all face-up monsters you control are light Fiend monsters, special summon 1 Smith token, Fiend Light level 1, 0 attack, 0 defense. Also for the rest of this turn, you can only attack with Fiend monsters. And then, if your face-up Smith monster is destroyed by your opponent's card effect while this card is in your graveyard, you can set this card. So, reoccurring token generation? That is very interesting. I would love to see a token with these 2 creatures on it. And other than that, it's an alright card. It can definitely help with certain combos. Overall, very useful. And finally, for the last card, this is the trap card for the deck, being Smith Paradus? Paradus, I think that is. Normal trap card, and you can only use the following effect 1 and 2 from cards with this card's name once per turn. You can target 1 level 7 and higher light Fiend monster you control, send all other cards on the field to the graveyard. If your opponent special summons a monster while this card is in the graveyard, you can banish this card, send 1 Smith monster from your deck or extra deck to your graveyard. So realistically, if you have the big Smith monster, you could easily just wipe the board. So this is kind of like an evenly matched. I'm trying to remember other cards that are like this, but it's really powerful of a trap card, and being able to send your link monsters to the graveyard so you could just equip them is honestly really useful. I can see the utility in this deck with things like Runic, even Magical Muskets and Fabled, and I want to know what you all think about Smith. I honestly really like them, and I hope you all did enjoy this video. But anyways, I have been Bolt Spider. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button down below, as it helps out the channel, and you get notified if you hit the bell whenever I upload. But anyways, see you all in the next video.